Big point being made by SP Vaid, former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, that why did these terrorists from Pahalgam come to this Dachigam area? Were they hiding? Were they trying to exfiltrate? Or were they heading once again towards the Amarnath Yatra route and once again target the Amarnath Yatra? So it wasn't just terrorists who were trying to escape, and that would also indicate that if 3 or 4 terrorists are still out there, there still is clear and present danger. I have the finest team on Indian television now joining me on this special broadcast. Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu, Ashraf Vani and Sandeep Unnithan. You couldn't get better correspondents tracking this big story. And Kamal, you've been talking to your sources throughout on the movement of terrorists and how they were tracked for quite some time, from human intelligence to electronic intelligence to signal intelligence, Kamal.
Well, yes, this is a combination of both human intelligence, because the nomads did confirm to the security forces that there is movement of terrorists based on which operations were launched. But remember, there's also the small communication device, a Chinese device, which was used during the Baisaran attack by the Pahalgam attackers. That was on the 15th of April. And thereafter, what we saw was there was an indication that on 11th of July, this was activated near the Dachigam area. That's when security forces formed different teams. So there was army, there was JKP, the CRPF, all combing through the jungles trying to find them. And then there was a further confirmation which came in on the 26th, 2 days ago. That is when there was a reconfirmation, because the signal was on. Now the input was that there are 3 foreign terrorists. The information was that there were 3 Lashkar terrorists. So there was a high probability that these are the same as the module of Pahalgam attackers. But remember, even as we speak, there is a police team which is on its way towards the encounter site, and they are the ones which will confirm. Meanwhile, there will be a double verification, because remember, these perpetrators were fed, they were provided support by 2 of the locals in Pahalgam. They would eventually also be called in. But yes, in terms of identification, at least one of them seems to be resemble Hashim Musa, based on which there's an early confirmation coming in that this is the perpetrator. But remember, a final official confirmation is still awaited on that. And what is important and significant is who are the other 2. Yes. They have been looking like Yasir and Haris, and what their roles are going to be. So all this is going to be very important. But yes, as far as the operation Mahadev is concerned, now this is a clean operation, because even if you see the videos and look through the photographs, you can see very well that this was a precision strike. It was a chance encounter. These terrorists were caught napping, because remember, in these kind of drills, they walk in kilometers and kilometers, and once they tire out, they usually do take a break. And it seems they were caught napping, and that is when the 4 paras chanced upon their opportunity. They struck at them. There was a massive fire, and even before they could reach out to the weapon, it seems they were neutralized. And that is why what you see is a little retaliation, either coming back or only even around the shrubs and the trees. But clearly, the operation itself is under scanner at this point of time, because remember, the confirmation of the identification is yet to be formally done. And remember, this could be a big success, and obviously the identification of the 2 others and whether they were involved in the Pahalgam attack as well.
Stay with me, Kamal. Before I bring in Ashraf, let me also tell our viewers, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former Kashmir Corps Commander, also joins us on this broadcast. And that big scoop that India Today's Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu is getting India Today right now. It was the communication device. Let me get you the latest on that communication device that led the security forces to the perpetrators. The same communication device, that Chinese device that was used before the Baisaran incident, and then again recently in the past 2 days. This was a satellite phone active around the 11th of July. Not just that. Human intelligence. Remember, when technical intelligence and human intelligence come together and they operate in tandem, that's when a confirmation actually comes in. So the Gujars, with their sheep, as they were moving towards this area, they saw movement of terrorists and informed the security forces. Scoop number 4. Chinese satellite phone was found active recently. It was found active before Baisaran, then 11th of July, and then again recently. So what did these security forces do? They laid a multi-tier grid to ensure that terrorists do not slip out of the security grid. So you had the Central Reserve Police Force, you had the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Special Operations Group, and then the Army, the Rashtra Rifles, and then you had the Para SF. The terrorists, as Kamal was just reporting, the terrorists were actually found napping, literally caught napping. They apparently had walked through the night. That's the time security forces were tracking them. And just as they laid this tarpaulin and they were sleeping underneath the tarpaulin, the forces were lying in wait. They waited for an opportune moment and opened fire. The terrorists were killed in resting position. What's been confirmed by sources, not yet officially, that Hashim Musa, the team leader, had lost a lot of weight. Was he attempting to change his look, or were they running out of resources? We will continue to explore that. Before I bring in General Tiny Dillon and Sandeep Punithan, Ashraf, any word from sources on the identity of the other two? How long before there's an official confirmation, Ashraf?
Yes, absolutely, Gaurav. Basically, everyone is waiting for the official confirmation, and even it was scheduled a press conference by the 15 Corps here in Srinagar, but that has been postponed due to some reasons. But probably the reason seems that the army wants us to get it cross-checked by the Jammu and Kashmir Police, because the most part of the intelligence inputs is being handled by the Jammu and Kashmir Police, and there are different branches and the sections in the Jammu and Kashmir Police, particularly Special Operation Group, which look after the other evidences of these terrorists that relates to the CCTV footages captured in the earlier encounters. But one thing is clear: why the biggest question, why Dachigam was opted by these terrorists to hide. On 22nd April, when Pahalgam terror attack took place, we on the India Today were first channel who said that probably these terrorists who carried out the heinous terror attack in the Basaran Valley could be the same who have carried out the terror attack in under construction tunnel at Sonmarg, because from Sonmarg to Pahalgam it is easy to reach. You have to go through the ridges of the what we can say Mahadev top, and then you will reach Tral, then you can reach Pahalgam, then from Pahalgam to avoid other main routes you can reach back to the Dachigam, which is very near to the Srinagar. Then on through those mountain ridges you can reach back to the Sonmarg or Kangan or any other part, including Bandipora. This is the track which is mostly being used by the terrorists in the recent times, including in the Kishtwar, Doda, Kutwa. Everywhere we have seen this pattern, particularly by the TRF groups. They not only have changed the communication devices into the ultraphones, which are Chinese made, but also they are trying to avoid the human contact with the villagers, with the nomads, with their own sources and overground workers. That is why to catch them or to neutralize them was getting difficult, not only here in the Pahalgam, but also even we have seen in the Kishtwar and Doda. But one
Stay
thing
with
was
me for a
clear,
moment.